Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
It just recommended me to the Timcast. Like, hey, you could be watching Timcast. I'm like, thanks. And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotal Arguments, or Anecdotal Anecdotally. Everyone, free trial to McAfee has expired. That hurts my feelings. Those of you who haven't heard, McAfee was Epsteined this week, and we're going to talk about it today with my good friend Sean. How's it going, Sean?
It's Monday. It's going, I guess.
Yeah.
For some better than others.
Every day above ground's a good day. Sorry about that, John.
I still think he faked it.
I mean, it was just death. It wasn't like the funk or anything, so yeah.
I think it's a hoax.
Is it? I mean, like, is it a hoax though? Like if I get like walking in those big Bigfoot feet, I get that's a hoax. But is faking your death to get out of taxes, is that really a hoax or just like a really big lie?
Well, it's to get out of being in U.S. prison is what it's about. I mean, who cares about his taxes? The government doesn't care about his taxes. They don't give a shit.
They kind of do.
No, they don't. It's about the authority. It's not about the actual money.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, I was going to say, they do, just not about the money. But yeah. It's the authority. It's the how dare you, citizen.
Right.
Adrian Curry?
I hope he faked it.
Yeah, fingers fucking crossed. And that'll go back to like Epstein the whole way. Like, oh, what about Epstein? Did he fake it?
Well, if you've noticed, there's absolutely no press about Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Isn't she supposed to be standing trial for the same shit?
Mm-hmm.
Haven't heard a word in several months about that one.
Is that the chick that dated Chris Knight?
I have no
Is she
idea.
the one banging a Brady, or is this about Victoria's Secret? I mean, is this the supermodel? Is that
no. Ghislaine Maxwell was
No, Adrian Curry. Steven's talking about her on Timcast.
I have no idea.
I think that's a chick who was dating Christopher Knight, from some like rehab show, or maybe it was like The Apprentice or something. But
what is up with YouTube? I can't even see chat.
It was one of those celebrity shows where the celebrities are doing something, and Christopher Knight, who played one of the Brady Boys, and maybe it was Adrian Lima. No, fuck if I know. Steven, just let me know.
Well, how many Spanish prison guards do you have to bribe and pay off if you're a billionaire to find a body and abscond? I can't imagine that if there's somewhere that's going to happen and be possible. I would imagine Spain's a good spot for it.
I like how you're talking. I like how it's find a body. Yeah, just find a dead body somewhere. You know, nothing too. Yeah, they killed a man.
It was a euphemism, but sure, yeah.
Find a body.
Well, and think about it. You got to find a 78-year-old. You might even be able to talk a 78-year-old, or however old he is. He's in his 70s. You talk an old man, an old Spanish man, into, hey, we're going to set your family up for, like, ever.
Yeah.
All you have to do is die. I'm at the end of my life anyway. I might as well. I'd consider it at that age.
You can pay somebody enough money to kill themselves in the right circumstances. And if you're a goat herder from Afghanistan, it's pretty cheap. But you absolutely, in an honor society where there's not much else, you absolutely 100% can pay somebody enough money to kill themselves. Now, if they've got something else going on, like a cancer, or are just old as fuck, but maybe love their grandkids and kids and want to set them up, you absolutely can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends. Like, you pay the right people, you can have that body cremated in, well, I mean, it takes 14 hours, but you could still, I mean, like, in the day, like the same day of the suicide. That is the worst spelling of Leia I've ever seen, Steven. It's Lela. Leia?
Leila.
No, Leia, not Layla.
Leia, sorry. No,
Leia, yeah. What did I say? Was that not right?
No, no.
McAfee didn't Epstein himself. You don't Epstein yourself is like my first concern. Hey, Raggle, how you doing? Nice to see you in chat. Motherfucker.
He's got a link. Good lord.
Motherfucker. I emailed him, and I sent that link out. Yeah, Lee. All right. No. Fuck it. I'll Google it myself. I'll word Google it. Christopher Knight and Adrian. Yeah, it's Adrian Lima. What happened to them? Former Brady Bunch actor Christopher Knight filed for divorce from his wife, Adrienne Curry, and Adrienne Curry 5 years ago. Irreconcilable differences.
How long were they married?
5-year marriage.
So long by Hollywood standards.
Yeah. What the hell were they in together?
What the hell was he in besides the Brady Bunch?
You watch your mouth, sir.
It's like Tony Mathers being in something. Yeah,
Steven?
he's in other things, but nobody
Steven,
gives
did you
a
get that
shit.
reference?
Or worse yet, at least people remember his name, sorta. The guy who played Eddie Haskell just gets referred to as the guy who played Eddie Haskell because nobody can be bothered to remember his name.
Holyfield was on the Celebrity Paranormal Project, and there's literally a picture of him with doodads all over him. They were on the Surreal Life together. No, they were on the Surreal Life. Wasn't that because of that? Or is the Surreal Life like... Oh no, it's a group of celebrities trying to live together in Hollywood. Okay. So then they got a spin-off of that, didn't they? Like My Very Brady Life or some bullshit?
That sounds like a TLC thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Which, God, what a degradation of society. Used to stand for the Learning Channel.
Yeah. You know what? I think Vern Troyer and Vanilla Ice were on that same fucking episode, or the same group of episodes. I don't know why. I think it must have been during my my married years. I watched that show. So, what the fuck ever. Uh, you could Epstein yourself if you hired someone to Epstein you. Uh, yeah, wasn't that episode? Or wasn't that a Fletch? Wasn't that how Fletch? The first Fletch movie. The guy had cancer, so he paid Fletch to come in and kill himself, and I think that's what happened.
You know what sucks is the Fletch movies. Both of them are great movies, but I hate Chevy Chase so much that I block out those movies.
I was so happy to hate Chevy Chase later in life that I could enjoy. First off, impromptu rants, Griswold Family Christmas, or the National Lampoon's Christmas Family Christmas, whatever.
Yeah.
That is one of the shittiest rants of all time as an impromptu shouting spree that it just saddens me. Like he almost like called his boss a cotton picking derelict. Like it was just atrocious. Like no thought was given to that at all. He just started naming insults. Yeah, you're late faking gay. We were on time as fuck today. Like a Swiss person who made a thing that has time involved. Yeah, I'm not dissing the vacation movies. Just the rant at the end when he gets the Jelly of the Month Club or whatever it was.
Oh, it was right after the Jelly of the Month and right before his hot ass wife grabs his junk.
Yeah.
Beverly D'Angelo is hot.
Were the siblings ever the same people?
No, they never were.
I mean, they all had relative fame in work, but
I mean, in the first one, it was Anthony Michael Hall and I don't remember the gal's name. But Anthony Michael Hall was the original Rusty.
Beverly D'Angelo. Good God. Like an attractive Laurie Hutton. Tom Hanks. I loved Tom Hanks. So, like,
Tom
even
Hanks
like
is a likable. He plays a likable character in almost everything he does.
yeah, but he's like a likable character, Tom Hanks.
Right.
And just to be like even when he was like a libtard ass, he was still being a libtard ass while sending packages to the troops, and like there were things he was doing that even while he was being a piece of shit politically, I could still defend him for. But if like remotely anything they say about him is true, I am so pissed at Tom Hanks. Best Daughter was in Vegas Vacation?
I literally have only seen Vegas Vacation once. And I remember not really liking it.
I preferred watching the billboard background in European Vacation.
Of the vacation movies, the only one I really like is Christmas Vacation. Mostly because it's a John Hughes movie.
Ethan Embry and Marisol Nichols. Those, yeah.
Yes, Maynard, and there was much rejoicing.
What happened?
Oh, he's saying Greg Wingroch did kill itself.
I saw a post about it, but when I tried to get to it, it was gone. What happened with Right Wing Watch?
They got kicked off of YouTube.
No, didn't they lose Jared Holt like a month ago?
I have no idea. Who cares?
I mean, I don't, which is why I'm not.
I mean, anything that negative that happens to them. I mean, the only time I want to hear anything about them is when something negative happens to them because they suck. So when something negative happens to them, it's a good thing, and that's good news for the day.
What the Richie? No, not Richie. What the hell's the British Office guy's name?
Oh,
Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais. Yes.
I was saying Richie. I was like, yeah, Ricky. That he spit some fire. And they were not used to it or happy about it. Yeah, Ricky Gervais.
He didn't even spit fire.
He did.
He told jokes that were funny because they were true. That's all he did.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But
can you imagine if somebody like, I don't know, Dennis Miller went after them?
Oh no,
George Carlin went after them.
Carlin's dead, but they wouldn't invite Miller not anymore. Like he did, like 3 years with O'Reilly.
Well, yeah, I mean they're not going to invite him, but I mean just his acerbic wit. The problem is that at least Gervais is scrubby enough that most of the audience gets the jokes. With Dennis Miller, he makes some very erudite jokes that most people just fucking miss.
Mm-hmm. Like, even watching him on... what's that freaking movie? Bordello of Blood. Like, he threw in some esoteric comedy, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Come on. Like, this is... Do you know who watches Bordello of Blood? It's Angela Everhart's titties. Like, no, but I have caught like having little kids around, and I'll catch like some serious adult humor. I'll be like, holy shit, that was inappropriate. Paw Patrol.
Yeah, SpongeBob.
Yeah,
Looney Tunes was great at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up watching Looney Tunes since I was like 3, and you don't appreciate. It's fun to watch when you're a kid, but you don't appreciate the depth until you get to be an adult, and you're like, "Oh, wow, that was spicy."
Yeah,
and I've caught
which
some of that
makes
stuff
me
on
wonder
SpongeBob too.
Yeah, but I'd explain to my nephew that Patrick is dumb and he lives under a rock.
Right.
Like, nobody in my family understood that the Krusty Krab was a literal crab trap.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're Michiganders. Like, I only saw crab traps from YouTube videos.
Well, and people just, take what they're presented with, at face value for the most part. A lot of people don't understand cross-references and allusions and stuff like that, so not all that surprising.
I've only seen Angie Everhart in 2 movies, and one of them was Bordello of Blood, and the other one was she was a Blockbuster girl. And what's that movie with the Arnold Braunschweiger? Last Action Hero. Coolest and famous. I'm the famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger. I'm like, all right, that's a little funny, Arnold.
I think I might load up Running Man again tonight. I haven't seen that in a while. It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's hard to like that movie.
Why?
Because I know the author.
Yeah, but
it's so. I mean, it's absolutely different. But
the one-liners are so clutch.
That diaper dude. Ugh. Jay Fry needs to watch Jade. Okay, all right. Whatever you say. Yeah. Raw Deal is probably one of my favorites for it being as gritty as it was with Schwarzenegger. But he took himself way too seriously in that role.
What was the post-apocalyptic one that he did?
Post-apocalyptic Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Well, not post-apocalyptic, but like an apocalyptic movie. Like it.
Oh, 6 Days? No, wait. End of Days.
End of Days. That movie didn't get its due. I think it's.
Oh yeah.
Movie.
What's his name? His partner, the comedian, the other Paul Reiser. I'm trying to think. I can't think of his name. Was great. Yeah.
Dean Stockwell. Who was in that?
Dean Stockwell. No.
I'm so bad with actors' names because I just don't give a shit.
I think it was Gabriel Byrnes and
yeah, Gabriel Byrne, Kevin Pollak.
Kevin Pollak, that's it. That's the other Paul Reiser.
Yeah.
Didn't one of those two hang themselves?
No, Kevin Pollak's still around, I think.
Is it Paul Reiser then?
Yeah, he's still around. Paul Reiser's still around too.
Who the hell am I thinking of then?
I don't know. Paul Reiser's not getting many acting gigs anymore, which kind of sucks, but maybe he's not trying for him. I don't know.
Maybe Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt stole all his comedy. Was it Richard Jeni? That's what I'm thinking of. Richard Jeni.
Oh,
the other Paul.
No, Richard Jeni was always just well, I can't say he was unsuccessful because there for a while in the late 90s he was like the shit, but he was like the Seinfeld that didn't blow up like Seinfeld blew up.
Yeah, he was the non-Jewish version of Seinfeld.
Please. I would say he's more Jewish than Seinfeld.
He's Italian.
Who?
Richard Jeni.
Am I confusing Richard Jeni with somebody else? Who the...
Richard John Calangalo.
Oh, yeah, I am confusing him. Who am I confusing him for?
Are you thinking of
Richard
Lewis?
Yes, I am thinking of Richard Lewis.
I think he's also Italian.
No, Richard Lewis is heavily Jewish.
He was like as the king and as John in Men in Tights. Good Lord, I think he said "oy vey" like 6 times.
Yeah, Richard Lewis.
Yeah,
was the Seinfeld that didn't blow up like Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm. He was whinier though. He was like Seinfeld mixed with that other Jew, the one that no, because that was what made Seinfeld. It was Larry David. It was not Jerry Seinfeld. I don't even like Larry David, and that guy gets tremendous credit for me. He's hilarious. Jeff Goldman. Jeff Goldberg. Bloomberg. Jeff, fucking the guy from everything.
Jeff Goldblum.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude,
Nature finds a way. That guy.
Finds a way. Yeah. The guy who uploaded
in one of the most underrated movies ever in Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Earth girls are easy.
The Fly.
Yeah, like really? Jeff Goldblum's attractive?
I
don't think so.
Independence Day.
Yeah, he uploads a virus from a Mac to a computer. You can't connect a Mac to a fucking printer. In 1999. Yeah.
Check true.
Like, I was like, this is such bullshit. I'm the only one laughing about it to myself. Because I'm like, no, I don't think so.
And the cheesy, grinning, laughing Jolly Roger as it's uploading. Please. Yeah.
No, Jeff Goldberg, black. You guys are all going to hell, especially Nephilim and Black Magic. Black Magic, what's that? What's your super chat last night that got denied by both parties? I didn't see Run. But Jeff Goldblum in Cronenberg, I'll watch him in anything. David Cronenberg was in Jason 10, Jason X, whatever you want to call it, and he was a very weird guy. Loved watching. Yeah, and I guess we're up to date on chats. What do we have to talk about this week? We got a whole bunch of. We got last week too. If we had anything good to spiel on.
I was just lamenting with my buddy earlier today just how bad the world has gotten and how fast it's gone fucking sideways over the last 6 years. What a goddamn clown world we're living in all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what news did we miss last week?
Quentin Tarantino and Bill Maher got into it, and Quentin Tarantino was shitting on cancel culture and libtards in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. But Quentin Tarantino thinks Hollywood or film should be all about the art, and I'm like, they should be all about the story, you fuckbag.
They could be both. I mean, I can appreciate an art flick for art. It doesn't have to have a good story. But if you want to, it should be both for a really, truly masterful piece. It should have both story, writing, and art. Like Big Trouble in Little China.
Of course. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, you can have like a giallo film. Those films, the colors are like out of this world, but it does take away from the film in most cases. I just put money on a house in North Carolina. I'll take you out for a beer in a couple of months. I'm working. I'll be working 13 days straight next week. We will not be doing a Monday show, by the way. So I will need some time off. Super chat. If a termite infestation started burrowing underneath the St. Floyd community statue and caused it to collapse in on itself, which one would you guess? Or something like that. Nice.
Near Pine Top, where Samari Armstrong is advocating against Democrats? What? What, Stephen? What?
I have the live chat, Bob. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a message from Stephen that says, Sean, near Pine Top, where Samari Armstrong is advocating against Democrats.
Oh, there it is.
Are you on live chat or top chat?
I'm on live chat.
Yeah, me too. It's all goofy, though.
What are we talking about that's near Pine Top?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Clarify there, Stephen.
I don't even know who Samari Strong is.
I don't either.
Samar? Yeah, I don't know who that is. I have all the balls. But I also don't have like family watching. An audience.
There's that.
Yeah, I got you 6. You guys stay for anything.
Pine Top is in Arizona, so I'm going to assume no. Well, there is a Pine Top in Arizona. There's also a pine. So I'm going to need some clarification as to what the fuck you're talking about, Steven.
I'm still wanting to know who Samara Armstrong is. I guess I could Google that. Chances of it being spelled right are not good, but Samara Armstrong, Pine Top, Arizona.
Oh, Samari Armstrong left Hollywood for Pine Top.
Oh, her. I hated her in
I don't know who she is.
Stay Alive.
Paste. Bloop.
Oh, she went to, she attended Sedona Red Top High School and the University of Arizona, so apparently she's an Arizona girl.
She was born in Tokyo.
Apparently she's with PragerU. Reoccurring role in the OC. No, Prager, I'm not signing up. Publicly spoken out against BLM and support police. Encourages others.
Wait, what a mutt. Armstrong was born in Tokyo to a Scottish father, Hunter Armstrong, and an Italian mother, Sylvia Seppelli, I guess.
Hunter Armstrong? What a fucking name.
Armstrong lived in Japan for 5 years before moving to Hawaii and later Sedona, where she grew up and attended Sedona Red Rock High School.
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay. So
apparently she's a PragerU alum now, apparently.
Okay.
I still didn't like her, and she was attractive, but like a homeless way. Yeah. But I fucking hate Staying Alive.
Here we go.
Or Stay Alive.
Here's the only blurb in Wikipedia that mentions any of this. Armstrong is involved in promoting conservative viewpoints. Has appeared on social media posts by PragerU in video, including social justice activism as virtue signaling. On her own Twitter account, she stated that the CDC and Dr. Anthony Fauci both have vested interest in fooling you. She has also asserted that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. So she's just right.
Accurate. Conspiracy theory currently means proven true in 4 to 8 months.
Pretty much, yeah. Real life spoilers.
Black Magic says, I lived in Sedona. I've never heard of Pine Top. It's just in Arizona. I don't know if it's anywhere near Sedona or not.
Near is relative. It's the same elevation. Ish.
I flew from Flagstaff to... What did he say? What's that joke? What's that Ron White joke about because my agent doesn't own a map?
No idea.
I flew from Flagstaff. Well, it's near Flagstaff.
Fucking nothing.
Oh.
Alright, now you're gonna make me Google a Ron White joke.
Was it Flagstaff to Sedona, maybe? Flagstaff to...
Here we go. Flew in from Flagstaff. Hang on, you're going to hear this.
So anyway, I flew here from Flagstaff because my manager doesn't own a globe. I flew here on a plane that big, like a pack of gum with 8 people in it. Just. We took off from the Flagstaff Airport Hair Care and Tire Center there.
Okay, so I get the gist of it. Yeah, basically the Flagstaff Airport is a joke, and it's a joke.
Where did he fly to?
Probably down here to Phoenix, because they don't go very far because you can't get big planes in and out of Flagstaff. It's too high, so only small shit goes out of there. Number one, and pretty much only goes to stuff around. It could have gone to Vegas. He could have been in Vegas. Could have been in Phoenix, could have been in Tucson, could have been in Salt Lake City, maybe. Maybe.
Well, he flew from like Flagstaff to Sedona or something like that. I don't remember. But the gist of the joke is they were pretty close, and he flew because his agent doesn't own a map and didn't look it up.
Right. Yeah, no, you can drive to Sedona from Flagstaff faster than you can get in and out of TSA through an airport. Any airport, even a tiny ass one.
Well, I mean, that's technically true from Detroit to Chicago. Now, you can drive from Chicago to or Detroit to Chicago in 5 hours.
Even that seems long.
Yeah, I am. I'm saying if you take Michigan Avenue, it's 5 hours. It's a 1 hour flight. So 2 hours to TSA, 1 hour flight, and then reboarding to your next plane. You just drive to Chicago.
Yeah.
But it's the hub, so yeah.
And here to LA is an 8-hour drive because of Southern California traffic mostly. You could do it in 6, but it's a 45-minute flight, so it's basically a 3-hour ordeal at the airports between here and LA. So you save about half the time going from here to LA by flying. At like 8 times the cost.
Mm-hmm. Sedona to Flag is about an hour.
About a half hour. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't take very long at all.
So is it like a standing runway or like is there a building? Like, because if I could just drive to the terminal, it wouldn't be nearly the same hassle.
Yeah, there's no mega infrastructure around Flagstaff Airport. It's you literally drive into a parking lot that has no parking structure, park, go into the terminal building, go out onto the tarmac, and climb some stairs into an airplane. There is no jetway at Flagstaff.
Good. What let's see what we talk about. I don't care about Brittany's conservatorship, even though did you hear that she has an IUD because of the conservatorship?
Yeah, that seems a little much.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know. There's just so many angles to take on that. What they're doing to her is wrong. I mean, I guess the argument is she's a grown-ass woman. She can do what the hell she wants. She's the one earning the money. Her dad's just a control freak who likes the filthy lucre of pimping out his girls, which is fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
He raised them poorly and they make bad choices. His fault. He's the one who should be in a conservatorship.
Mm-hmm. Supreme Court denies New Hampshire lawsuit over Massachusetts income tax for remote workers.
There's a bunch of people who live in southern New Hampshire that work for firms in Massachusetts and are subject to Massachusetts taxes instead of New Hampshire taxes. Actually, they're technically both. They end up paying both.
Oh, so that's like the Detroit tax for Detroit workers, even if they don't live in that's some bullshit.
Yes, it sure is.
Well, good for New Hampshire. Defending their citizenry.
Mm-hmm.
California state travel ban on anti-LGBTQ laws. What to know? What the hell's an anti-LGBTQ law? Yeah, somebody said back in my day, gays didn't have rights. Like, what right did they have not back in your day? Like, The only right they didn't have, which isn't even a right, is marriage. Marriage is not a right. Marriage should not have anything to do with the state.
Agreed. Although it does because it's technically a financial contract. So I can kind of see that one both ways. Perfect world, which we don't live in, state has nothing to do with it. But because it's communal property and a financial transaction, they actually do. So, yeah.
Citizens are worried about Kim Jong-un's weight loss.
Are they, though?
Can you imagine just starving there in the grocery store next to the painted foam apples? Be like, oh, dear leader is looking so thin today. Supreme Court won't hear dispute over transgender bathrooms. All right, so let's talk about this Guamine fucking Bliss chick or whatever her freaking name is.
Who?
Miss not going to the Olympics, but pissed off that
Gwen, what's her fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Third place at a state tryout for the Olympics ain't gonna get you there, sweetheart.
And then disrespecting the flag and doing Black Lives Matter tantrum doesn't help either.
Yeah.
The Olympics is about sportsmanship. You aren't displaying any. Get fucked.
Activist athlete. Yeah. Somebody said kick her out. I'm like, no. America, that is not America. America is a melting pot. We accept everybody. What she's doing is un-American, but that doesn't mean she's not an American.
But she doesn't need to represent us either.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sorry, but you're representing us.
Yeah.
We're sending you there. We're literally paying for you to go. So yeah, sorry about your blacktivism. You're not going.
Right. That is the correct answer. You're free to do it. More power to you. We just don't need to condone it or support it.
It was a setup. Like, so. I got fucking rub salt in your room.
Yeah. Maybe you just suck. Did you ever think about that? No.
She does. She got third. So she was on the podium. But the first place, she beat the record. So good for her. But there's actually been a lot of that. Usain Bolt, who in 2008 broke the world record at the Olympics, his trial times to get into the Olympics were beaten this week. And Usain Bolt beat the world record for the 100-yard dash eating only chicken McNuggets from McDonald's the entire 2 weeks of the Olympics because he was worried about things upsetting his stomach. I would be worried about eating chicken nuggets for 2 weeks.
I wouldn't. You know what it is. Your body's used to it. That makes sense.
Man.
They're not the best of the chicken meat you can get, but at least it's consistent and you know what you're getting no matter where you are in the entire world. It's like cornflakes. You can eat cornflakes anywhere. You're getting the same shit.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not frosted flakes, but cornflakes, yeah. Compared to... Yeah, I hear. So good on New Hampshire still for that. This chick just irks the shit out of me. Like, this is a privilege, bitch. Right. Do not complain about your privilege or other people's privilege in your privilege. I'm sick of hearing about it.
Yeah, you didn't lose because you were black. You lost because you didn't try hard enough.
Oh no, she tried playing hard. She got third place. I'm not going to slide her there.
Don't fucking sugarcoat this. She didn't try hard enough because if she tried hard enough, she'd be there. That's how that works. That's how meritocracy works. Somebody else tried harder than her, and won. There's no complaining there. You did your best. Your best isn't good enough. Sit down, have a Coke, enjoy your life.
Oh no, she can't have Coke. Did you hear about their racistness?
Yeah, be less white.
No, well, no, that, yeah, no, they did personalized bottles, and they tried to make it completely fine. So they said, all right, words to exclude: Hitler, Nazi, Black Lives Matter, and people found their way around it with like White Lives Matter. Oh, White Lives Matter works, but Black Lives Matter, that's racist. Like, no, it's not. They were like, couldn't put in Hitler, but you could put in like High Hitler, Black Hitler. Like, oh god, that's so stupid. I don't care. I think it's funnier that for Pride Month, the Skittles made just white Skittles. That's super racist.
Nah.
Eliminating all the color from Skittles? Come on, man. That's great.
It's brilliant because they can claim, hey, this is, there's only one rainbow that matters this month, blah, blah, blah. Whatever way you want to spin it, but the fact is, that's a bowl of white Skittles.
Yeah. Like, fuck you.
It is both a plausible, deniable fuck you.
If I bought Skittles, those would be the Skittles I'd buy.
Right. And I'm not even a white supremacist. I would buy them just because it's a big fuck you to the cause that tries to overrule this month.
I remember when they introduced blue M&Ms, like that was a big thing. It's like what? It's a candy coated color. Fucking no. It tastes like chocolate no matter what.
I remember when they banned red ones.
Why do they? Red was like a major character for them.
Only recently, they found a way to bring it back. The reason that they banned red M&Ms is because the red coloring they were using originally was a known carcinogen, and there were lawsuits against M&M Mars for causing cancer from red M&Ms.
Good lord.
So they banned red M&Ms. And it took like 20 or 30 years for them to bring them back in a way that is now non-carcinogenic.
It's probably beetle carcass.
Cochineal.
Red 36 and Red 40 is non-vegan.
Yeah, red dye number 45 was, or no, red dye number 5, I believe, was the carcinogen that was originally in red M&Ms.
We have record-shattering heat in the northeast.
The record-shattering and
It's 101. It's 96 in Pennsylvania.
Oh no, it was red number 2. Yeah, and FDA banned the use of red number 2 in 1976. And they were discontinued for a decade.
Black man who said I thought they were sued by vegans.
No, that's coming. Because the red, one of the major red food dyes is made with cochineal, which is the crushed up carcasses of beetles from South America. Also used to make the red coats for the British Army historically.
Nancy Pelosi has introduced a resolution that will form a select committee to investigate the January 6th insurrection. Juul agrees to pay $40 million and change its business practices to settle a lawsuit filed in North Carolina alleging that e-cigarette maker marketed vaping products towards teens. Like, teens is a market.
Well, it's the same reason that Camel got sued for Joe Camel.
That's dumb. Yeah, like up until the Trump administration, you could smoke at 18. That was something that completely flew under the radar to me until one day I was in the store, and it was like, to smoke, you had to be born before 1989. I'm like, hey, you got your alcohol age on your cigarettes. They're like, oh, it's changed last week. I'm like, what? Yeah, you have to be 21 to smoke now. It's like, that flew under my radar.
I would imagine there's an exemption for troops.
Well, shit, the Lucky Strikes used to come in the MREs.
Yeah.
You used to get 3 cigarettes with your meal.
Yeah. Because it curbs appetite.
And a condom. Not for the purposes of prophylactic.
Well,
Prophylactic
yes
purposes.
and no. I mean, it has other uses, but it's that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap your junk,
Yeah,
kids.
in the emergency. Well, actually, it's for your barrel, but the other barrel. In the Army emergency kits, you get a condom, and that's for water storage. No lube. Everyone, smokes vape. Diz smokes vape, so I'm like disappointed every time I hear her sucking on that robot dick for nicotine. Love me some Diz, but I'm like, oh god, shut up.
I remember that, where nicotine kills COVID, but then again, don't know if that was one of those myths or if that was actually based in fact.
I survived. Minimal COVID.
Yeah, but you still got it.
But I survived it, and I'm in
Yeah,
like 6 of the 10 health ranges.
The theory was that smokers blocked up their receptors with, nicotine and smoke instead of the coof virus. I don't know how much stock I'd put in that one, but whatever.
I would put in 0 stock. I can't find original unfiltered Lucky Strikes in a softback anymore, yet they have multiple kinds of menthol Luckies. My dad was a Lucky Strike smoker. He started smoking in the military, and he had to go to Camel non-filters. And I was 8 years old when I started going into gas stations to get Camel non-filters and Eve Ultralight 120s. and no one batted an eye.
I remember when there were cigarette machines. You could just walk up and plunk in a couple of quarters and pull a knob and get a pack of smokes.
I would get $5 for lunch at a bar. I bowled at a bowling league, and it was inside a bar called Silver Lanes. And I was allowed to spend $4.45 of that. And I had to buy my dad 2 packs of cigarettes on the way out from the vending machine. And God, that was so stupid.
I should look at repurposing all those old cigarette machines and start selling fucking booster packs of Pokemon to the kids.
There you go. I've seen inside one of those machines. You can screw the pack size. Like you could make them thinner.
Yeah.
So it would hold just a pack, or you could just put them in there and they'd be twice as thick. But it would only hold like 10 of them that way.
Yeah. Well, it would hold 12 because they were all designed to hold 1 carton of smokes.
Carton's 10.
Carton's 12.
How long have you been smoking?
I quit smoking 13 years ago.
Well, I started smoking 12 years ago, and they've always been 10.
Huh. Boy, they get you the drive-through, don't they?
Not really. I've always just added a 0 to my regular price to see if I'm getting a decent amount or not.
Fair. Still,
Like it's 5.
He used to come in. Cartons used to be a dozen packs. Like eggs.
A carton of eggs, a carton of cigarettes has been 10 packs since at least 2005.
Okay. That's about when I quit, so.
Well, that's the first time I started working at a gas station.
Yeah, cigarettes are ridiculously expensive.
Now they are, yeah. I used to smoke basics. Basic bolds were like a little stronger than Marlboros, and they were made by Marlboro. But they started getting more expensive, so I switched to Special Selects, and they're about $5.25 a pack.
Good lord.
Mm-hmm.
Still 20 nails to a pack?
What are you talking about? Do you even know what a cigarette looks like? Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, it's 20 a pack.
Like, did they change that shit too?
No, but oh my god, it was so stupid when Obama changed the names on them. Like, I don't know anybody who went into a store and going like, yeah, I'd like the full cancer reds and the light cancer. You know what? I want to do ultra light cancer this week. Like, no one thinks it's extra light cancer, Obama. That's not what extra light means. They're just gentler. But they went to golds and silvers. I'm like, oh my god, it's the same concept, you idiot. But he did. He changed the flavor, Obama changed the flavor of cigarettes. When was it Bush?
It was Bush.
Was it Bush who made this cigarettes to keep them from burning?
What?
Cigarettes will go out now if you don't smoke them. So the days of Shelley Duvall running around with like that fucking 3-inch ash on her cigarette,
Yeah.
those are over with. Rip The Shining.
That was like one of the iconic scenes in Aliens. Sigourney Weaver sitting there with a cigarette in her hand that's burned down to the nub, and it's just all ash because she hasn't moved the entire time after she lit it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! Can you think of just rolling? Yeah, not even rolling. Just waiting to start rolling. Just holding your fucking cigarette there. Okay. Law passed. About cigarettes. Cigarette burning?
Yeah, Steven's saying the FDA banned clove cigarettes under the Obama administration. Did they? Because I used to smoke the shit out of cloves.
It was Bush, 2004.
Yeah.
Fire safe cigarette regulations.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking retarded.
Well,
so,
I mean,
if you're insistent on getting cancer by smoking, we're going to go ahead and add a known carcinogen to the cigarette to make it safer.
yeah.
What? What?
Yeah, like I'll smoke like 6 cigarettes during this 3-hour stream, and you'll hear me light up like 10 cigarettes because the fucking thing goes out while I'm talking. She's well, I mean, I'll watch tomorrow. Well, I won't technically watch tomorrow. I listen to audiobooks while at work. but in the last, not this month, but last month, I had gotten, I had hit like 3 like really good strides in the audiobook, and it kept me up like an hour and a half later than I wanted to be up. So I'd go to work on like 6 hours of sleep. So I started skipping Tim Pool and watching it the next day. I'm actually 2 episodes behind now. But I did watch the Bannon one. That was if you go to watch Tim Pool his Bannon stream, if you look down in the comments, 70% of the comments are, "This is my first time hearing Bannon speak for himself, and he sounds like a reasonable guy," or some variant of that.
Right, because he always does. Yeah, they made him into this fucking monster.
Well, I didn't often hear Bannon talk, being on the right and a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
I still didn't hear Bannon say a whole bunch of nothing. But then, afterwards, he gets kicked out. He starts his own podcast, so I watch it. But I didn't hear anything from Bannon, and I had to go look up Bannon to hear about Bannon.
Yeah, well, again, it's because he makes sense with the way he presents stuff, and the mainstream legacy, whatever you want to call them, Walking Dead media can't let that be aired, so they have to just badmouth him and never let him actually. You never get to hear what he has to say. They always paraphrase and misquote and take stuff out of context and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's par for the course.
Yeah, they're like, well, he's actually a pretty intelligent guy. Huh, who would have thought Harvard grad, former military intel guy was smart?
Yeah, it's just, he doesn't do himself any favors by not taking care of himself, and he looks like
Oh, yeah, he looks like a fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
With whatever's going on with the side of his head, too.
Yeah. Just doesn't take care of himself. So that doesn't help. Whatever happened to Bill Barr? He kind of fell off the radar for a while there. What's he doing?
Bill Barr is shady as fuck.
Yeah,
His dad hired Jeffrey Epstein to teach at his high school.
Mm-hmm.
Which just makes so much shadiness for me.
Yeah.
Because anyone who's ever commented on Jeffrey Epstein who doesn't go to the fucking island, looking at you, Bill Gates and Tom Hanks, has said he's a weird dude. Like he got his money by blackmailing people into getting his money. That's clear as what the fuck is this? Oh, throw them out of a helicopter or Barr. But I knew Barr wasn't going to be shit when he was from the Bush administration. I fucking hated the Bush administration.
I agree that I hated
But
the
you know
Bush
what
administration, but the alternative was a Gore administration.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. Like say what you want about Obama. He kept us from a McCain administration and a Romney administration. And I'll be damned if we weren't getting health care between Obama and Romney. The only state to have a mandated health system, yeah, it is going to happen.
Yeah.
What the hell is Dejarum Blacks?
They're heavily...
Are they clovey-like cigarettes?
They are clove cigarettes. I never liked the blacks. I always smoked the reds. But the blacks are like twice as thick.
Silly choices. Remember when that guy Gore was running for president and lost because Florida?
Yeah, well, Gore's back in the news, bagging on Trump.
Who doesn't remember the good old hanging chads?
which you would think that Gore would be at least sympathetic for Trump. I mean, they both got an election stolen from them, right?
Yeah. I'd be amazed if that reference is what gets us kicked off of YouTube. For all the shit I say, and you just saying what a joke about Gore really is what gets us taken down. That'd be hilarious. I heard they were twice as long. Yeah, it's like as far as you know, my name is Sean Micron. I don't think you're gonna get me too hard.
Yeah.
We also have another channel. Yeah, Gore in Florida. That was forever.
2000.
They're so clovey. I sometimes accidentally smoke the whole filter without noticing.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, it's real easy to put them in backwards and light up the filter. I've done that a time or two.
My grandpa used to do that as a joke. Like, we would have to be talking to each other, and he would put a cigarette in backwards. And apparently once he thought he did it and didn't, and he lit his filter. Like, that's what you get for being grandpa.
Oh, excuse me.
What smells like penis? My grandpa used to just fuck with us for I was ambidextrous, which isn't saying much because I was 5. But he tried to convince me I was right-handed because he's like, "What hand do you shake with?" I'm like, "Right hand." "What hand do you sign the cross with?" "Right hand." "What hand do you do the Pledge of Allegiance with?" I'm like, "Right hand." He goes, "You're right-handed." And I'm like, "No, those are prerequisites, Grandpa." What the heck?
I can't sign my name with it, though.
Like, well, no, I could. But my handwriting's atrocious with both hands. So,
yeah, I am ambidextrous in that all my handwriting looks like shit no matter which paw I decide to pick.
I mean, hands or feet, they're just as legible. But my grandpa used to say, well, I can't... he would end up talking about something, and he would bring up, like, he'd put elephant in there somewhere. Like, he might have been talking about elephant at the time. But he'd say, effluent. You know, like, it's elephant, Grandpa. And my grandpa would say, I can't say elephant. I have to, it comes out effluent. Like, you just said it, Grandpa. Grandpa. I love the Rodney Dangerfield thing where he was talking to his dad. He says, "How old are you?" And Rodney says, "I'm 7." He goes, "When I was your age, I was 9." I was mocking my grandpa, and I said that. He cracked up for far too long. Like,
that's a good one.
He's always messing with me, Mom.
It's a very good Rodney Dangerfield joke. That's a good one.
Yeah. It was like the grandma's like, "I can't say elephant, I say effluent." He walked uphill both ways to school. He said when he was my age, he was 2 years older. But I'm like, that joke, that doesn't even make sense.
Right, which makes it great. Yeah, you know what it means, but you can't. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, I was literally like, I was like 10 years old, and I'm like, that joke makes no sense. And I'm like, but it makes me laugh every time I hear it. Oh man, I loved Rodney Dangerfield as a kid. Like unusually young child for liking Rodney Dangerfield with his no respect.
Right. I prefer Jonathan Winters at that age, but
I liked Sam Kinison. Like, I would have loved to have heard like him make an album.
He did.
I mean, he did, but like actual music album. But I owned like 3 like Jeff Foxworthy albums. They were just like, oh my god, these were bad. Chris Rock, No Sex in the Champagne Room.
Mm-hmm.
I had that on CD.
Had the Dennis Leary, still have the Dennis Leary CD somewhere.
I'm an Asshole. Yeah.
No Cure for Cancer.
He was born in a wooden barn that he built himself at the age of 10. We almost went to Bob Saget while on tour. And I was so excited I didn't tell my parents about how awful it was going to be because I've seen Bob Saget on HBO.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's go see it. I was like, you're a little old. I'm like, no, I want to go. Like, this will be so good. Like, Bob Saget is not Dave Coulier.
I knew.
A lot of people didn't even know Bob Saget was a comedian.
True.
Like, no, he was Rodney Dangerfield's protege.
Yes, and he was the doorman at the Comedy Store for a decade. And
Weird. I always just saw him in the bathroom. No.
That's where the coke was.
That's where the gay sex was. School days? Are you thinking of Back to School?
The Aristocrats, ladies and
Oh my god, I saw that. Oh. I'm like, Pendulette, are you really a comedian? Get the fuck back over and expose magic tricks you made up.
I like Pendulette, or at least I did.
He's tall. He's a tall dude.
Yes, he is. I'm going to Vegas in a month. And I need to get over to the Rio and actually see the Penn and Teller show before they're no more, because they're both pushing old.
I said Back to School.
Yeah, Back to School was the Triple Lindy and the diving boards.
Robert Downey Jr. was on it.
Was he?
He was, what's his nuts friend?
Mm.
His son that looked nothing like him, but was exceptionally Jewish. From Christine. I can't think of his name. From Stripes, too. I can't think of, what the hell was his name? Yeah. I remember watching Christine, and I didn't care for it. And then, I saw, how he changed with Christine, years and years later. And I was like, that's actually pretty good. But Christine came out when I was 3. So it's probably 10 when I watched it for the first time. Keith Gordon.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
He was Rodney Dangerfield's son in Back to School.
Okay. I haven't seen that movie in 2 decades at least.
What? I watch it every time it's on. My Sally Kellerman. I was like, "Hey, that's the chick from Boris and Natasha, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Boris and Natasha."
I used to love visiting my grandparents because then I could watch Rocky and Bullwinkle, because I was living in Houston and then Kansas City at the time as a kid. And they never showed Rocky and Bullwinkle. But if I went to Pittsburgh to visit my grandparents, I got to watch Rocky and Bullwinkle every day.
Mm-hmm. And that guy from Karate Kid was in it. His name was Chaz, I think. William Zabka.
I was a full-blown adult before I realized Rocky and Bullwinkle was a Canadian cartoon.
There's this one scene where he fires Kurt Vonnegut for a paper on Kurt Vonnegut. It was fucking hilarious. He's like, the other thing, you don't know nothing about Kurt Vonnegut. You're fired. And I'm like, that's Kurt Vonnegut. That's hilarious. Like, I didn't realize Kurt Vonnegut was as contemporary as he was. Like,
Right.
Like, I just thought like everything was from like the '60s, which it is. But
Right. But he was still around.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been like Ernest Hemingway. Still, I mean, he was not around for his own reasons, but like, I thought they were contemporaries, but it was like, oh god damn, Kurt Vonnegut is. Like, does he mention that it's Kurt Vonnegut? Because that's fucking hilarious. It's only funny if there's like that and Back to School and PCU or
PCU.
yeah, PCU.
PCU is an underrated gem. You want to talk about fucking thumb on the pulse of America 20 years before they actually really manifested. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's like, that's Jamie Piven. He's 35, playing, pretty sure, 35.
It also has the guy from whose name is eluding me. The guy who actually helped save Star Wars by doing the Mandalorian. What the fuck is his Feige? He's in it. He plays the guy who brings P-Funk to the party.
No. Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not
Not
Favreau.
not Feige. Oh yeah, it's David Spade. Who else was in that? Bunch of cute girls. PCU. There we go. Megan Ward. David Spade, Chris Young, Chris Young was in everything for like a hot minute. Jesus, George Clinton looks terrible.
Always has.
I mean, yeah, but cleaned up, he looks worse than he does. Oh, good lord. Jessica Walters. Huh, for some reason I thought the cast was more famous than it was. What am I thinking of? Probably a Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, that had Anthony Edwards. George Floyd was in PCU.
Wasn't Timothy Busfield Poindexter?
Who?
Timothy Busfield?
Hang on.
I hated Brad Whitford, but I loved Brad Whitford in what the hell was it?
Timothy Busfield was Poindexter, yeah.
Yeah. What did I like Bradley Whitford in? It was Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Him and fucking Chandler Bing, can't think of his name. Matt Perry.
Did you get his diffuser here?
No, PCU. remember Kevin Feige. Oh God. For a second, I was like, "Are you talking about John Favreau?"
Sorry.
I am talking about John Favreau, yeah.
Yeah, but like when you said Kevin Feige, because you were talking about him saving them, like, I think you're talking about John Favreau.
Yeah, I was. I got that wrong. Like I said, I'm
What's his name?
terrible. I am so bad with names of Hollywood people.
Robert Patrick and I had a conversation in a coffee shop when he was down here for SWAT 2. And we were talking about how it's shady to have two first names. And we were naming people in Hollywood with two first names. He's like, "You know more people in Hollywood than I do." And I'm like, "I don't know these people. They're not my friends. I can't call them. I'm pretty sure like everyone you named is on your phone." Yes, Robert Patrick T2. He was in SWAT 2 or SWAT 3 or well, anyways, it was filmed in Detroit, and it's my only time ever going into a cafeteria or a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee. I was going in for a cookie. Did he do it for a banana? Floyd was an extra in George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelics. I met him once in passing. We are not besties. He happened to be filming in Detroit. And I think I saw George Clooney once. Or his stunt double. Near the airport on the side of a car. That was up on a flatbed. But there were cameras all around it. And I'm like, that looked like George Clooney. So I might have been like 3 car lengths from George Clooney once.
I sat next to Jerry Van Dyke at a comedy show.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be like the last place I would want to sit next to Jerry Van Dyke.
And he wasn't in it. He was just in the audience.
Well, yeah, but that wheezing laugh of his, did he laugh like that, or is that a stage laugh?
Well, the comedian sucked, so there really wasn't a whole lot of laughter.
No.
It was Gary Pepitone. Or Gary Pepitone? I don't know. Whatever. Mark Pepitone. Something like that. His last name was Pepitone. And he sucked. A lot.
Eddie? Eddie
Sure.
Pepitone?
I have no idea. Hang on. Eddie Pepitone, yeah.
Mm.
Not funny at all.
No, he was a writer for Sarah Silverman, and I would see him on every so often, and I was like, that guy's not funny at all.
Yeah, he's not at all.
I wrote this bit about 10-year high school reunion, going back to be my school bully and kicking his ass for looking good in his thin, slim black suit. And then later having to apologize to him because his slim black suit was a priest garb. It was some pretty funny writing. The Bee celebrating 4th of July every year. What? Somebody called the Bee out for trying too hard, and the owner of the Bee was like, "False. We don't try nearly hard enough." So then you definitely would have spit in Aerosmith's food. Steven Tyler sought guardianship over like a 14-year-old he was fucking just so we could take her on tour with him to fuck her. Sarah Silverman was never funny, but my complaint was that her writers also weren't funny. But man, did I like me some Sarah Silverman to look at.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, Gina Garofalo.
Oh, I never thought she was attractive.
Matt and I would have. He knows what I like.
Sarah Silverman, on the other hand, is attractive. Really nice.
Norm Macdonald is a funny writer, and it is funny, but he has an absolute shit sense of humor, which is like a weird combination to have.
Well, he's a comedian's comedian. He makes comedians laugh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which you you have to be like in an industry to understand what that means. Like a chef's chef. In magic, we had things called a magician's magician, which is retarded, if I'm being brutally honest. There are magicians who do magic. Then there are magicians who do magic to fool other magicians. And seeing a magician fooled is some of the my favorite things ever. But it's so overly complicated or so simple that it really just pisses you off every time you find something out. But Sarah Silverman is not funny and has never been funny.
No,
Brett Butler, funny.
Yes, Brett Butler was
Catherine
hilarious.
Hannigan, funny. Didn't particularly care for Roseanne Barr as a stand-up comedian, but I loved her on Roseanne.
She's also a comedian's comedian.
Yes. But she does like a embarrassment comedy I don't care for, like her singing the Star Spangled Banner. Blech. But I was just gonna say, fuck Tom Arnold. That was also something I wanted to say.
She did.
No, just fuck Tom Arnold, not fuck Tom Arnold. Don't be gross. My ex-wife thought she was funny. I had to explain to her she was not.
Rita
Ratner?
Rudner. Rita Rudner.
Rita Rudner.
Yeah, it's Rita Rudner and Gildner Ratner.
Yeah, it was.
Rita Rudner was probably the first, well, not the first, because Phyllis Diller or Joan Rivers was probably the first funny
Betty
woman
White.
I remember. Betty White as well. But like stand-up comedian. Like, I always thought girls can't do stand-up. Chicks can't do stand-up. They suck at it. They just do. In general, they do. And that still holds true. But there are a few gems that can do it. And Rita Rudner was one of those ones who could do it. Brett, what's her name?
Brett Butler.
Brett Butler can do it. Joan Rivers could do it in spades. Carol Channing could do it, surprisingly.
Angela Lansbury. Just kidding.
I'm afraid of Angela Lansbury. Everywhere she goes, there's a huge goddamn death toll.
Murder, She Wrote. At least Roseanne reaches out to blue-collar workers in middle America. I'll give the Jewish... Yeah.
Yeah, she was America's housewife, which, and, you know, that's fine.
I still remember there was an episode of Roseanne where they were trying to pay bills and they didn't have the money to pay the bills. So Roseanne wrote the check to the water department, and she sent it to the electric department, or the electric company, and she sent the electric company's check to the water department. And that way they would send them both back to her, but credit them for receiving the check on time, and then send them off to their respective correct places when the money hit the bank.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you can't do that no more.
Nope.
They won't give you that credit either. But there was absolutely a time in my life when the check in the mail was a valid statement that people accepted.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Although I never COD'd anything in my life.
I'd never COD'd anything, nor did I ever receive anything COD.
That is cash on delivery.
I remember a lot of the TV infomercials, the blue screen infomercials, or the blue screen ads during TV. It would always say, send away here, no CODs. That's no longer a thing.
Yeah.
Nobody sends away for anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean they do, seeing as that's basically what Amazon does, but you don't actually send a letter anymore.
I got a belt knife that technically was not a part of the belt. That I carried that fucking thing for 10 years. And I used it exactly 0 times. The belt ended up falling apart. I still do check in the mail. If you don't pay, I'm not going back next. I've never done it. Elza Schlesinger? I don't know who that is. Eliza Schlesinger. Nikki Glazer. And is she part of that crew? Oh, she might be. Oh, she worked at the Improv. John Oliver, Stand Up New York, Comics Unleashed. Yeah, she's Last Comic Standing, season 6. Worked with Lewis Black. That's a lot of Jews.
Lewis Black is no joke funny.
Lewis Black is no joke funny. He doesn't tell jokes.
No, he just rants, and it's funny.
Schlesinger married chef Noah Glutinen in a Jewish ceremony in Los Angeles.
Guy's name is seriously Noah Glutinen?
Mm-hmm.
Noah Glutinen.
And he's Jewish.
And is a chef in Southern California?
Well, the wedding was in Southern California, but chances are they live in Southern California.
Noah Glutinen.
Look at this fucking name.
Am I the only one seeing the joke there?
Gluten. Galuten. Noah Gluten.
Noah Gluten. Chef.
Chef Noah Gluten.
That is a joke.
Well, the wedding doesn't think so. His Jewish mother didn't think so. You know, I've only heard like 2 funny Lewis Black jokes. I didn't find him funny at all on the Daily Show. And I
No,
loved me
not
some
on
Jon
not on
Stewart.
the Daily Show. Just his own stuff.
Yeah. But I didn't find like any of the black comedians on the Daily Show funny at all.
Because the only funny person on the Daily Show was Jon Stewart.
I like Stephen Colbert.
I liked the Colbert Report.
That was the Colbert Report.
Yeah, well, either way, I liked it before he,
Stephen Colbert was funny on the Colbert Report.
Mm-hmm.
He was absolutely not funny in that thing with Amy Sedaris and it's like kids with candy or something. Strangers with Candy.
Strangers with Candy. Yeah, no, Strangers with Candy was terrible.
Mm-hmm. That must have been comedians comedy because that shit was not funny.
Nope. And I also didn't like Reno 911.
I thought there was some parts of Reno 911 that were hilarious.
And I should like Reno 911 because it's basically everybody from the state, which I thought was great. But I just don't.
Resting crazy, John McAfee. I don't like Will Ferrell humor.
I don't either. He has the occasional gem, but most of it is shit.
Well, I don't like his humor. So there's that. I also don't care for Chris Kattan.
No.
So Night at the Roxbury did not do it for me.
No, it was crap. Ladies' Man wasn't very good either.
That was Tim Meadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
And Tim Meadows could be funny. He just it just didn't work. Whereas Deuce Bigelow, for some god awful reason, did work, and so did the white chick. Or not the white chick. What is
The
her
hot
name?
chick.
The hot chick, yeah.
I didn't see it.
It's actually pretty good. It's like, for some reason, those movies are better than they have any business being. Like, it's supposed to be dumb and stupid. It's a Saturday Night Live skit turned into a fucking movie. It should be bad, and they're not. Deuce Bigelow is actually pretty good. The hot chick, pretty good.
Terry Crews was good in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I definitely preferred Andre Bauer to well, I mean, Terry Crews and Andre Bauer were probably like the best part of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine was a good show, but it was never gut-bustingly funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you try to listen to Rob Schneider's podcast, it's an abortion.
Rob Schneider's best movie was The Stapler. Never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never-
Yeah, and Rob Schneider is pretty conservative. I just can't stand his podcast or his comedy.
That's a huge bitch. Yeah, no, Rob Schneider, and I don't know, he's such a weird thing. Like, he makes some good stuff, but I don't generally like him, but he's got the right politics, and I still don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
But he makes good stuff.
So
It's weird.
it proves that it's not about politics.
Right.
Because I genuinely enjoy Jon Stewart. And
Oh,
the
Jon
guy who
Stewart
is
is great.
so blinded by policy that he threw a fit about nuking Japan. Like, you do know there was like a 3-day grace period between the first bomb and the second bomb, right? Like, we didn't want to drop the first one, but we had to. And then we had to drop the second one because they were still being assholes. 25 million people died between Japan and China in that war. Rob Schneider has to. Yeah, I don't watch South Park either.
I haven't watched South Park in.
Probably, it's definitely been over 10 years for me.
Yeah, definitely over 10 years for me too.
South Park killed The Simpsons because South Park could put their episode out in a week. And The Simpsons took 8 months. But The Simpsons is the most profitable spin-off of all time.
Poor Tracy Ullman.
Poor Tracy Ullman.
I miss the like the shows that Fox had on when they were new. When they were like the new network player in town. The Fox lineup was amazing. Tracy Ullman, Married with Children. Eventually The Simpsons. Herman's Head.
I was just thinking of Herman's Head, yeah.
What's funny is the memorable guy from Herman's Head is actually does spots on one of the radio stations out here, where he just reads quirky one-liners off and they play them intermittently between songs and stuff. There was a show on early Fox before the X-Files that was called Werewolf.
Which memorable guy?
A guy who played Lust or whatever in Herman's Head. Fat guy, wore his baseball cap backwards, has a distinct voice.
Animal.
Yeah, and speaking of, Pixar puts out that movie, what do they call it? Can't even
Hank Azaria and Yeardley Smith were both in Herman's Head.
Yeah, Yeardley Smith was actually on screen in Herman's Head.
I mean, just speaking of Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, she was. I mean, it was one of those days where everybody had their stable of actors, and they all just kind of did various things on different things.
I remember Animal from Armageddon, and what the fuck was it? Down Periscope. Down Periscope, Sergeant Bilko, and McHale's Navy.
Down Periscope, was that the Kelsey Grammer movie?
Yeah, that's the only way to separate them. Was that the one with Kelsey Grammer? Or was that the one with Steve Martin, or was that the one?
Right. Yeah, Steve Martin was Bilko's Navy, right?
No, Down Periscope. Or no, yeah, Sergeant Bilko. Sergeant Bilko was Kelsey. Sergeant Bilko was Steve Martin. Down Periscope was Kelsey Grammer. And probably the most attractive Lauren Holly of her entire life. But Rob Schneider was the executive officer. He's a little weasel.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're gonna fall, Cat.
She looked pretty good in a hat. But what the fuck was his name? It had Bruce Dern, William H. Macy, Harlan Williams. I think Rip Torn was in it, or yeah, Rip Torn. Harry Dean Stanton. The last time I saw him was in Avengers for some reason. Like, what the fuck? I didn't know this guy was still alive. You fell out of the hole. What else we got? Lucky bastard.
Have you been watching Loki?
Nope. I will be watching Loki in 2 weeks, though.
Was that when it's over?
Right? I think so. And they're in episode 4. Didn't they
I have
just
no
put episode
idea.
4?
What's funny is I haven't heard a lick about it since it debuted, which means it must not be very good.
I didn't hear anything about Captain America except like week 5 from Tim. But
Yeah,
and then
they pulled that one together at the end.
And then that Captain America with the Wyatt Russell.
Yeah.
That ended up coming way too late. That was like 3 weeks after his introduction as Captain America. So apparently people weren't watching it live either.
Yeah.
Because I started watching it like the week after that came out.
Well, I mean, after WandaVision, people were like, yeah, just give it a miss until they get a couple episodes under their belt. And then, because you could fully just skip the first 3 episodes of WandaVision. But I'll probably watch Loki when it's all said and done, like I did with the other ones. Hopefully it's good.
Steven says he fell asleep to the last Loki episode. I expect her to be a strong black woman. We don't take no guff from no Loki. Because they're ruining everything.
I'm interested to see what's going to replace the current status quo in movies and entertainment.
Mm-hmm. I think it's so weird to want representation in horror. like, what do you want? Like, it's a horror movie. You want to see more black people killed on screen? Is that what you want? Like,
I think they want the complaint more than they want the actual result.
Absolutely. Like, I'm a Detroit native. I grew up in Michigan. I've literally tried to do magic for black people. I've had cards stolen from me. Not on any kind of purpose, but they got too scared to put it back in the deck and ran away with the card. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, I've been the guy black women cling on to because in the haunted house, their boyfriends fled in fear. Not that they won't like murder you straight up, like stab you to death. Like, it's not like that kind of cowardly. It's the in your mind imagination cowardly that caused them to run and leave their women. And we would come up to them in a group, like, because you separate in groups in haunted houses and they reset, there's like a 3-minute go, 3-minute go kind of thing. And there would just be women petrified, black women, and their boyfriends had ran through the haunted house and left them behind. And they're kind of fine with it because they don't give a shit. They're like the most grateful people on the. Can I hold down to you? Like, yeah, sure. Like, it's a haunted house. They in Michigan, and this is fucked up though. So this is not funny. but they can't touch you at a haunted house because there have been in Detroit, like deep in Detroit, we don't do Detroit haunted houses. They rape women in Detroit haunted houses. So there are laws against any contact between haunted house employees and the public. So literally, there's a dude running at me with a chainsaw, and like he has to hesitantly take swipes at people because he can't touch them, even though the chainsaw has no chain on it and it's just a running motor. But I'm like, I'm not running. He can't even hit me with it. Like, there's nothing he's gonna. I'll just walk. But it's insane. But they will be the first ones out. They have watch a David Blaine special. Black people will lose their shit in magic. They don't fuck with it at all, or they're like super into it because it'll give them power. There's no in between.
Name a famous black stage magician.
Blackstone. Oh, you mean the color black? Yeah, no.
I was gonna say what?
Blackstone. That's a black magician. Blackstone.
No, I mean an African American stage magician.
I can only think of one black close-up magician that I know of. And he did this hilarious basically it was a disappearing coin trick, but instead he used Ritz crackers, and he would use Goofa dust, which he would pull out of his pocket, which really he was just crushing the cracker. And it was absolutely hilarious. But I can't think of any black magicians other than him. Wait, no, there's one on YouTube. But he does like weird shit.
Like, I don't even think you could find one in New Orleans.
Oh, black magic. Yeah, sure, you can find black magic. What the hell's David Blaine?
Yeah, he's got that weird Eastern Seaboard mutt look to him. He's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Derek Jeter and even A-Rod to some extent. Like, yeah, you've got African American in you, but that's not all that's in you. Kind of like Jessica Alba. What are you?
That's actually, there's a claim that's why she doesn't get cast and stuff, is because they don't know what she is. And I'm like, you were fine as fuck. That's what you were in Idle Hands until I found out she was 17. I'm like, dude, there's way too much camera on her body parts for being 17. Oh, I know a black magician who did a disappearing bike trick.
Disappearing bike trick?
Yeah.
Tiss.
Yeah, somebody on Twitter the other day said, the answer is Africa. And I was like, what's the question? Where'd my bike go? Yeah, I don't know. Just fucking, it's weird. They will steal your cards. There's even one. There's a Katy Perry song where this group of gang members accost this kid, and they pull a knife, and they end up pulling out like fucking like the never ending handkerchiefs from his pocket, and like they end up backing up away from the kid, and then he starts doing magic, and they all like kind of like start stepping back, and I'm like, that's actually pretty accurate. I think it was the fireworks song. I think it was that kid, the magician getting robbed, and I always worried about getting robbed as a magician, like because I had some really weird shit on me that would have been hard to explain. Actually, I had a conversation the other day about how David Copperfield making a Statue of Liberty disappear. I hate that trick.
No, that trick sucked.
Yeah. Well, do you know what happened?
But
the actual legitimacy of it?
No, I don't. But before we get that, it had the same problem of Al Capone's vault. Is that they hyped it up so goddamn much, and they're like, oh this and oh that, oh this and oh that, and then when they finally get to it, it's just like, meh, whatever. So no,
it's actually the same problem I have with Amazing Jonathan. Except instead of an audience member being a plant, the audience was a plant. It was David Copperfield on a rigged camera that was fixed in position with a frame over the Statue of Liberty, and he put a cloth, blanket, whatever the fuck you call them, silks, over the Statue of Liberty on this frame. And the entire pedestal that all of the audience was on, and David Copperfield, the entire platform, rotated 15 degrees. So that it was out of frame. And when he removed it, the entire Isles Island was gone. And I hate that. I hate it when the audience is in on the trick. However, if you get somebody in on a trick, you can fucking blow somebody else's mind in ways that you can't do on your own. Just absolutely fuck someone's head up. But I don't like that. But Amazing Jonathan, I get it because he's insulting the person, so it's usually like a brother or cousin or aunt or something.
Right.
And then he always steals $20 from them. He always takes their money. Right. He never gives it back. I think once he gave back a torn up $20 bill wrapped in duct tape, which is just useless at that point. You're just gonna rip the face off of it. But so that is like understandable for what he does. And magicians started using they've always used plants in the audience, but they've started using plants even for tricks that didn't need them, because a magician was sued in Nevada, of course. He took a guy's ring and did a trick with the ring, causing it to appear in his wallet. And he opened his wallet to show, here is your ring. He goes, that's not my ring. My ring had more diamonds than that. It's not my ring. And he sued the magician and won somehow. Even if he would have not, if he lost, the magician still would have had to put forth the money for a lawyer. So just better safe than sorry to not do that, which is disappointing, but I would still, I would never use a setup. Well, I mean, unless I was doing that trick with friends, and which I have a friend who I have spent time with to set tricks up in advance. Yeah, but I can't think of a... If you had a black guy in a horror movie, look at Night of the Demons. They go into this abandoned crematorium / whatever. That black guy nopes his ass out of there the first hint of trouble. That would be every movie that had a reasonable person in it. Fuck you, I'm out of here. Ants are spelling get out. I'm not moving into this home. I'm leaving.
True. You know how ghost hunting shows became popular there for a while?
Oh,
They
God,
had,
I
like,
hate.
They
Yeah.
had all of those ghost hunting shows on TV. They actually had one that was a group of black dudes. How that didn't stay a thing for very long, I'm sure, is the fact that it just drew no audience. Because black people aren't watching it, and there's plenty of other people doing it that white folk will watch.
That was probably hilarious. I'd have watched it.
No, they were serious about it too. I mean, they did all. I mean, just like it was a carbon copy of any other ghost show, except for the douche who just yells at ghosts.
the one who
Zach Baggins.
Zach Baggins, yeah.
The douche. But yeah, it was like any other, run-of-the-mill ghost show where they actually do the research, they actually go in and they do the filming and blah 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 blah, the testing and whatever. And it just never went anywhere. I saw it for like 3 episodes and then haven't seen it again.
Vampire in Brooklyn, funny guys. Yeah. Do you ever watch Paranormal State?
Before it hit the shit show, yeah. I mean, it was good 15 years
No.
ago.
Oh God, that was such a bad one, and I'll never forget like how bad it was. There was, first off, the entire cast went to Penn State, which is why it was Paranormal State, Penn State. Their expert demonologist was like a goth girl, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but how much of an expert could you be when you're still in school?
Yeah, no, she went on to do stuff with Ozzy's kid.
Well, yeah, well, okay, I don't care. But they had Chip, the
Chip
psychic
Coffee.
medium, come on. Yeah.
Chip Coffee.
Yeah. But like, first off, the guy gets there and he explains, like, well, I was interested in paranormal because I was haunted as a child by a demon. And like the first episode of Paranormal State, he re-encounters the demon. I'm like, oh my God, how crazy is that?
Right. No, he got drummed out of the business for some shit, or got caught faking something or something. I never delved into it too much, but yeah, he's persona non grata in that whole entertainment genre.
See if that's any black country music stars. Hootie. Yeah, Jason and Graham started TAPS, the Transatlantic Paranormal Society.
The Atlantic Paranormal Society.
Is it the Atlantic? I think they changed
The
it.
Atlantic, yeah. That's the one that started the major craze. And if you go back and you look at the first season, because my wife's an addict for it, we watched the first 5 episodes Saturday night. It was more of a reality show than it was a ghost hunting show. It was a reality show about hunting ghosts.
Yeah. Well, Most Haunted came out first.
Oh, did it?
Which is in the UK. And then the next year, TAPS, whatever it was called, Ghostbusters, Ghost Hunters, whatever it was, came out, and it was a reality show. But see, by season 2, they were ghost hunters. It was all about the ghost hunting, and they hired crew, and they expanded. Season 1 was actually like them putting to bed rumors and stuff like that. They would say like the airflow in this room, when the door opens, it causes the rattling on the second floor because of pressure. Like they explained away hauntings basically. And by season 3, they had tattooed assholes squaring up with ghosts, like Zach Baggins.
Yeah.
But I would watch this and be like, I can't imagine like being a ghost and building up your energy to communicate with these people because you think they honestly want to communicate with you, and finally somebody will listen. So you put your energy, you suck out the batteries or whatever, and you make a noise, and they flip the fuck out. And all they do is demand you do it again.
Right.
Like, oh my god. Seriously? You suck.
That's a shush.
The first episode of Destination Truth was a good one. Which is actually how I found out about how those things are made. Destination Truth, their fifth episode, like what they recorded, ended up being their first episode because they found, like, honest to God, evidence of Bigfoot. They found hairs that didn't match anything in the genetic files, and footprints, and something else, and they made that their first episode. But Destination Truth was just a fun watch. I like watching Josh Gates. I find him enjoyable. Why are you guys talking about country music? Well, Little Nas had that Country Road song with Billy Ray. Old Town Road, I think it was.
Old Town Road, yeah.
Yeah. What was funny about Most Haunted was the English girl. Her brother was the cameraman, and her brother's name was Stuart. I don't remember her name, but she's like he would get attacked by ghosts, and she would encourage it. And then they would like he'd be like, oh my back, and like somebody, like another camera would point at him, and he'd have like scratches on his back, and they'd be like, if you can hear me, scratch to it again. Like, how would you ask him first before you go volunteering him to get scratched again?
Well, it's like what is it? The Dead Files. The conceit there is they've got a psychic medium and an ex-cop, and the ex-cop goes and does the preliminary interview, and then they have a guy go in and clean out the house so that she's not influenced by anything. So, and then she goes through and does this walkthrough, discovers all this stuff at the walkthrough, and then they meet after the fact and then explain all that to the clientele. I'm like, I figured out that conceit like instantaneously, because the guy who runs the camera when the cop is doing the interview is the same guy that does the walkthrough and the cleanup of the house before the psychic goes through, and he's the one who's filming the psychic. I'm like, there's a conceit that, yeah, I mean, it's technically true that the cop and the psychic don't talk to each other until they meet to discuss the case at the end, but there's that guy in between that's doing both, and that's how they pull the narrative together. Not that hard to figure out.
Mm-hmm. Plus, selective editing can have 6 wrong answers make a right answer.
Right.
I read a book on cold reading, which is like
John Edwards shit.
Yeah. And the first time I did it, like, the lady was crying and like thanking me. I'm like, oh my god, I feel so dirty.
Right.
Never did it again after that. I read an entire goddamn book to never do magic again.
Yep.
But I'm like, oh, you are such scum. You people who do this. Like, you con men who do this is atrocious.
That's why I love the term charlatan, because it sums it up to a T.
Mm-hmm. I saw that lady 4 times afterwards, and each time I'm like, oh my god, that's her. And I read it hard to tell her it wasn't real, but she only got good news. Like, there was no "you'll find the body near water" bullshit. Ghosts aren't real. Houdini wanted to be a ghost. He set up a fund, $1 million, and he gave a password to his widow. And every time somebody came to his widow to say they would talk to Houdini's ghost, never got it right. I have a buddy who does paranormal. He does ghost hunting right now. And he's like, you should come with me. And I'm like, you won't like it. I've never experienced anything ghost hunting. I've experienced some things, but nothing paranormal.
See, I'm a firm believer that there is paranormal things that happen, but that doesn't necessarily... You can't take that next leap to, well, it's a ghost. Well, no. It just, something weird happened. If you then start assigning reasons and anything like that without evidence, that's just, you're just filling in the gaps with bullshit. But weird shit does happen. Unscientific shit happens. Anomalies happen. They're real. And it's the human mind that wants to put it into a box and classify it and define it that leads to the fuckery.
No, you can't do I mean, you could do a cold read through a Hangout, but it doesn't have the same effect. It's just manipulation, Stephen. Like one day we're gonna meet, and I'll do magic for somebody else. Well, like I'll do magic for Matt, so you can watch me do the magic, and then I'll do magic for somebody else in a completely different room that you're not in, and then I'll have them to explain it to you, and what you will have watched me do to Matt will be a completely different description of the same tricks I do to somebody else when they tell you about it. I've started out tricks where I hand somebody a card, literally hand them the card, and then throughout the rest of the trick, as they're following my instructions, I will mention to them that they picked the card, and later when they're telling people about the trick, they will have freely picked that card themselves, and they'll believe it. It's there's some weird stuff. People just don't actually pay as much attention as they think they do.
Yeah, most of life is done on autopilot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see. Okay, so Black Magic is saying is someone close to you with an S in their name, and if not, if there's no S in the name, you say S sound, maybe a C, and they still have a blank look. Is like a CCH, like a ch, and then if it's not a ch, maybe it's a K, and she'd be like, "My Aunt Katie," like, "Yes, Katie." And you went from starts with or has an S in it to I named Katie right out the gates.
Mm-hmm.
It's just and they don't it's ridiculous. Or like, I got a cousin Julie. Like, no, you don't. His name is Guardo. Like, he was called Chewy once in 4th grade. Like, we always called him Chewy. No, his name was Eduardo. Also, doesn't have an S in it. almost all of my Magic I do with somebody else's card deck. 90% of my Magic is from a shuffled deck in use. No setups whatsoever. It's all manipulation. But when I first started out, I had a setup deck that I would shuffle in a way that none of the cards change positions. How is CHEWY short for JESUS? Chewy isn't short for Jesus. It's the same fucking length. That's like shorting WWW for World Wide Web. They're both. It's the same amount of syllables. No, you always sense water. You don't sense a tree, you sense water.
Not out here, you don't.
I don't fucking read anybody in Arizona. Is Chewy short for Jesus? I don't think so.
Okay, this took a weird turn.
Like Dick is short for Richard. No, Rich is short for Richard.
You're just a dick.
I guess Chewy would be easier to say than Jesus or Jesus. All right, let's get it. You wanna we can cold read in the off hours.
You know, Steven's going to ask you to do it.
I'm not going to do it, but I could explain the concept further. Explain why John Edwards is a dick. Both of them.
Yeah.
Like, well, he lied to grieving widows, and he cheated on his cancerous wife. Two different Jon Stewarts. Same dick move.
Edwards, not Stewart.
John Edwards. Did I say Jon Stewart's?
You did. Jon
Fuck
Stewart's
Jon Stewart.
Nah, I like Jon Stewart. I mean,
I did too.
I don't agree with his politics, but at least he's down for, you know, talking about reality.
Yeah, even they don't give him credit for it.
Yep. Plus, he does a lot of work for the 9/11 survivors and shit like that. So he's, I mean,
Oh yeah, he was at the forefront of the
Yeah.
9/11 guys.
good guy, Jon Stewart. Even if we disagree on some things, he's still a good guy.
Most things, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's skerdoodle to the. Hold on, I got some copy and pasting to do.
Okay, I'll just play the outro. Go ahead and say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will